Hello, guys. All right, today we started off our Monday finishing up area and perimeter, and we did a little checkpoint in Aware with our CFA, and the CFA is 4.5D, so make sure you get that completed. So before that, we talked about, let me get this paper here under the document camera. All right, so this paper here that I'm bringing up is our reference materials for fourth grade, and we haven't had to use it yet, but now it's all popping up here with things that we're going to be using. So this whole first front side is all of our reference materials for the different customary and metric units. We're about to get into conversions, and so we'll be using this a lot coming up. On the back side, these are the formulas that I've been sharing as we've been working through perimeter and area. So when they do when you log in and you go to do your checkpoint and it says click here for reference materials, this is what will pop up into, it pops up into another tab. So you can leave that tab open and then go back to your checkpoint, and then you can flip back and forth. So we went over here and we reviewed just the different formulas. So when you are trying to find perimeter, remember that's the part that goes all the way around a shape. So if you're talking about a square or a rectangle, so let's say it's a square, perimeter equals 4 times S. Rectangle, you have your length plus width, where you're adding up all the sides, or 2 times L plus 2 times W. Your area of a square, area equals side times side. And then area for a rectangle, area equals length times width. So we reviewed the formulas, and then they went ahead and did theirs in Aware. And then after that, we went over it. So we went over the 3 problems and talked about it. And then we also, since I don't have a copy to give you guys at home, I wanted to make sure that you have this in your notebook. So make sure, let me line this up. We did the first part today, so this will be getting us ready for this next unit. So these are all the units that we'll be working with for length, and then these have to do with weight and mass. So here you have your customary units. So these are the ones that we use here in the U.S. It's got the U.S., the us in there. So that's how I remember that these are those. And then metric is pretty much what the rest of the world uses. And so here you have 1 mile, how many yards it's equal to. So you've got all these things showing what like a ton is the same or equivalent to 2,000 pounds and so on. So go ahead, pause the video, and make sure you get that into your notebook, and then we'll do the other half tomorrow. Then we worked on ST Math, and we did some reading next. So we read in our book, we read chapter, let's see, I think it was 6. Yep, 6 in our Fudgemania book. And the recording for that is under classwork. If you go down to book club, read aloud Fudgemania chapter 6, you can find the recording here. So if you click on this link, all right, it'll play me reading that. Let's see, go back. Then once we did that, we worked in Seesaw, and this is up at the top here. So you have week 31, section 2, Fudgemania. So when you click on this and open up this, all right, so Dictionary Detective. So this first part, wait till this opens. All right, so the first couple pages everybody did on their own. Pages 3 and 4 we did together. So these were just some comprehension questions and we were just going back over chapters 4, 5, and 6. So chapter 4 was when they first arrived. They're going on this vacation in Maine. So chapter 4, the worst news of the century, is talking about when they first get there and some things that they discover. Chapter 5 is Uncle Feather's adventure when Uncle Feather, Fudge's bird, gets loose, and they go on a hunt to find him. And then chapter 6 is the one that we read today, the perfect babysitter. So everything in this section we have read up to. So we were just going back over and discussing different pieces and things like that. And then here's not chapter 4, page 4. Some more summaries of what was going on in there. Tomorrow we will finish up anything that was not finished today. So the dictionary detective part, you're looking up these and adding the definition here. Then here you're looking up, you can use the words here in the word bank to match them with the definition, then creating your own sentence. And then this down here, there's a part in there where Fudge is making up rhymes and things like that. So that one down there is just a little extra where you make your own. So go ahead and hit draft. Make sure you have at least half of that done because we'll finish that up tomorrow. So you can do the other half tomorrow. Then in small group, we worked on talking about point of view. Writing is in Google Classroom under classwork. And right here, Monday through Friday, daily writing review. All right, so let me put this in present mode so it's nice and big here. All right, so this is a story called How to Prepare for the First Day of School. And so I'm going to read this through and then we'll go over the question. So it says, beep, beep, beep. Katie shot up in bed as her alarm went off. Was the beginning of the school year here already? She had been waiting for this day since the first day of August. This was going to be her best year yet, and everything had to be perfect. Katie talked with her mom and made a list of everything she needed to buy and had to do to make this year a success. She got a new backpack, new clothes, and a lot of new school supplies. She even made sure she had completed all her of summer homework and reading. Katie got out of bed and started getting ready for school. It was easy because she had already picked out her outfit the night before. This was one of the things she said she was going to do this year in order to save time in the morning. She ran downstairs to eat a healthy breakfast and anxiously waited for the school bus to come pick her up. All right, so you're dragging the check mark over your correct answer. So the first one, we're looking at sentence 4. So it says she had been waiting for this day since the first day of August. So think about if you're adding a comma, that's going to add that pause after day. So she had been waiting for this day, comma, since the first day of August. B capitalizes the word August, which is a month, and then change she to he. So think about who the one is when it says she, who are we talking about? Then what is the verb in sentence 7? So go look at sentence 7. She got a new backpack, new clothes, and a lot of new school supplies. So verb, what's that action word? Number 3, how are the commas in sentence 7 being used? She got a new backpack, comma, new clothes, comma, and a lot of new school supplies. And then the proper noun, so which one is the specific thing that we're talking about that needs to be capitalized? Versus what are the common nouns? So that is in sentence 6, which says Katie talked with her mom and made a list of everything she needed to buy and had to do to make this year a success. And then Mark's cat always climbs into open dresser drawers. So you, right here where it says to insert text here, you can type that and make sure there's a couple things that need to be corrected. So we did that and everybody had a chance to answer and then we went back over it. And then the second part is just a quick write about telling me about your weekend. So we'll do one of these each day this week, and then the page you can see, the page that follows after it is going to be a quick write where you'll have a topic and then you'll just fill in. So we'll turn that in on Friday. So we'll be working on this throughout the week. Then on the agenda, for science, we did our soil introduction. So we're starting off with soil by going to activities here, and there's an assignment that says week 31 science. So click and open this. All right, so we first started off just looking at the soil in this image here. So these are 3 different types of soil. And so when we observe, we use our eyes. And so just looking at this, go ahead and type right here, what are some observations that you make? What do you see? What do you notice? We talked about that. And then on this second page, we went out and we collected our own. So this is some that we found here at school. And so we talked about why we think there are different colors. Then we collected, so I put that I got mine from school. Yours might be from a park or your backyard. We uploaded our photo, talked about the color, talked about the texture. And then on page 3, we looked at where soil comes from. So we watched this video here, so you can click this link. And then here's a little diagram that talks about it as well. So think back to when we talked about erosion, deposition, and weathering. And so we have a, picture in your head a rock, and we know that rocks through wind, water, ice, gravity, things like that, um, rocks will weather and they'll break down. And that rock, those broken down pieces, that's called sediment. Then erosion, so things are moving around from same thing like wind, water, ice, gravity. So things are mixing around and moving around all over the place, and different sediments may come together from different rocks. And you have plants and animals dying and decomposing. You've got air and water mixing in as well as it rains, or this might be, you know, uh, well, if it rains, you've got water mixing in, and then hundreds of years go by. So this takes a really long time. All of this stuff breaking down, because if you remember back when we talked about weathering, we talked about, this is not a fast process at all. This is a very, very slow process. It takes a long time to happen, and so lots of years go by, and then now we've got this new soil that's being created. So. We looked back at ours, and in the video it talks about organic matter. So these things here that are being added in, whether it's a plant or an animal, things like that, you can tell if your soil is really rich in organic matter. It's a very, like you can look at this one, it's a very dark color. Mine, it's kind of dark in the picture, but mine was very like a dull brown color. And you could tell it really didn't have a lot of organic matter in it, but it did have some sticks and dead leaves kind of mixed in with it. So I did count that. But overall, it was very sandy, very like I don't know, just like a dull brown is the only way I could think to describe the color. But so definitely not, it talks in the video about when you have all that organic matter. There's a lot of nutrients and things in there that it's giving to the plant. So a really good soil for plants to have and get nutrients from. So mine definitely I wouldn't use to plant in. Um, on this next page, we just kind of summed up what we learned and talked about today. So in our notebook for science, we titled it Soil, and we talked about how soil is formed and then why there are different colors. So go back to the video, make sure you watch the video before you answer that. And then we'll be adding to this throughout the week. So go ahead and hit draft. And then after that, we did social studies. And in social studies, we did today's article. And then fix this. There's a video here as well. So go to Google Classroom, open up your week 31 social studies assignment. Click on Monday, your article's right here. So this is the first question. There's two for Monday. What is paragraph 2 mainly about? And then after World War II, why did African Americans and Hispanics have more rights? So follow along with your article there and read along with that and fill in those two, and that will sum up today's. And then you have STEAM today, so make sure you get onto your Seesaw STEAM page and complete the assignment for that. And looking ahead, we have reading tutorials tomorrow, and then Thursday is Wear Purple Day to support our military kids and families. And I think that covers everything. Yep. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Bye, guys.